I appreciate all the time I spent with Mo Norman, and his mystique is increasing.
Mo is like a natural expert.
Well, he hit a lot of balls to become as expert as he did, and he
Yeah.
was always learning, looking for ways to improve on it.
Mo is one of the greatest natural golfers, perhaps one of the, probably maybe the great natural golfer of all time that 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 everybody recognized. Here's a guy who could just swing the club and it went where he wanted it to go, and he was just so natural and so thoughtless, and everybody was amazed at this guy. And you spent so much time with him, hitting those balls and practicing and doing all that stuff. And that's something that's very interesting to any golfer who knows who Mo Norman is.
The memories there, and all those guys out there playing those professional tours, they know who he is. The
Yeah.
general public doesn't necessarily know, but a lot of people do know
Yeah.
because he and Ben Hogan were the recognized the two finest strikers of golf balls ever.
Yeah.
That's it. There's other people who are really good. Even Tiger Woods, Tiger watched them, and he said, basically, he said, only two people have ever owned their swing, Mo Norman and Ben Hogan. That's what I want to do. He still wants to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure he does.
Figure out that the tiger's still among us. He could do it. I've watched him every once in a while. I think, I wonder what he knows or what he did say one time, you have to see the shot, feel it, and hit it. Now that's the right idea. See it in your mind, see it happening, feel it, and hit it.
Right. Right.
When we were playing golf, uh, we were waiting for some people to get off the green or something. Mo would look at it, take the club out of the bag, look at it. Within, I'd say 4 seconds, I'd have to put 3, 4, 5 seconds. He had looked at the shot, taken his grip, adopted the stance, and hit it, and the ball was on its way to wherever it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
He always hit the ball dead straight. And he'd just say, "What's wrong with straight?" Nothing is wrong with really. I have the picture of the image of the shot to be, but I also have the feeling of the energy.
Right. Right.
You deliver the energy into the image. When the face of the club touches and holds the ball momentarily, that's when it's released and in effect, the destination point where you put the ball in your mind is pulling the ball in front of you towards itself. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
And it all happens very quickly.
Yeah. And you got your swing, start your swing, you get your feet in the place, then you use your backswing, then you're coming down, bang, and then you follow through. That little bang, that little thing that happens when you hit the ball, if you zoom in on that, that's that's what your whole thing was about, to get that to happen.
When you do it the right way, when it's very precise, the sound of the impact thickens.
Yeah.
Like it was wet, like the golf ball was wet.
Yeah. Nice
It's
fat
rained
sound.
on it, but it's like a fat sound. I noticed that. The first time I started doing that, Mo Norman was standing there and he looked at me and he said, "Bob, very few people ever get that sound." He knew the sound because he'd done it. But
Yeah.
that's what he said. Very few people ever get that sound. It crossed my mind one day that the real target is the apex of the flight where the ball goes into free fall. So I started balancing myself for my perception of the apex fall line to the destination point. In my mind, I turned away from that place. So I told Mo that, and he started doing it, and he got better. It made it easier for him, and he started hitting the ball farther. And he came back. After I suggested it to him, a day or two later, he came back and he said, "I got to show you this." So we went out to the range, got a pail of range balls, which he hardly ever hit, because they're not as good as the normal Titleist ball that he was playing with all the time. But all of a sudden, he's hitting. He could hit the ball in any trajectory that he wanted to, anyhow, straight shots. Now He was hitting them on any trajectory, fades, draws, high, low, whatever, with every club. He looked at me and he said, all my life wrong. And I said, you're not wrong. You just never thought of it that way. Neither did I, or I would have said something, but it works.
What about putting? When you're putting, there's no apex.
No,
Well,
I put the ball usually in the hole in my mind. I mean, I see it going in the hole. I might, depending on the length of the putt or something, I usually try to pick up the force of the blow so that the ball will at least get a little bit by the cup so that it stays on line, because the ground isn't absolutely flat, even, and everything. So I build the putt from the destination point back to where I'm standing. And when my eyes come back right along the line, when my vision comes right back to where there's the ball, I have a recollection, a feel in my fingertips. I locked the sweet spot of the putter into what I feel in the grip. I pick up the force of the blow in my fingertips, but I got the whole putt. I can feel it and I can see it. And when my eyes come back from right along the line, I don't even get down on the ground and line it up. I put the ball in there and I trust my brain, my mind, to show me so that I feel it. And then I go with that. And when my eyes come to where the ball is, I see the thing and I just let it happen. I don't hit the ball. There's a pendulum action with the putter. The butt end of the club moves forward, so the head of the club comes back. Then it comes back down again. But you don't attack it.
yeah.
With the length of the stroke and even fluid motion, that gets it online and it keeps it. And usually it's amazing. It hits at the right distance. When I start thinking about watching what I'm doing, it doesn't work as well.
You look at the hole and you look at the ball, and while you were doing that, you saw the green. So it was in between. So you
Sure.
noticed it. It was there. So your body soaked that up, and then your swing made it. Well, maybe you hit it off to the right because there's an angle on the green, but it's not because you thought about it. It's because you saw it.
Your mind sees it. The mind is a very powerful instrument. That's why the book is called Mind Golf. And Mo always said that it's the mind. He would point at his head like, it's in here. It's not, it's in there. That was it. He didn't know how to explain that, but he was right. That you have to have a quiet mind, a calm pool of water, a quiet mind. It can't do this other stuff. That's why he avoided things that made him uncomfortable. He didn't want to know about the world of business. He didn't want to know about what was going on in conflict and wars. No, not for me. When he'd go someplace where he was uncomfortable, he would never go back. It could be a golf course where some of the people didn't want him there for some reason because he was so odd.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yep, not for me. See you later. He wouldn't, and that would be it. He'd get in the car and drive away. Yeah, that was what he did.
How good of a driver was he with his car?
He got 3 tickets in his life, all for going too slow. Really,
It's great.
they drive up behind you. If you speed up, they're controlling you. You can't do that. But he did. He'd go slower probably. But that's it. He got 3 tickets for going too slow.
That's funny.
It is funny, but that's what he was. The visible planet Earth is quite an interesting creation. The power, the energy that created that is connected to the fact that we're here,
Right.
and we exist. So what I did, in simple terms, is mentally, I figured the energy comes through the sun, it's connected to the Earth. So for some reason, I thought, I'll imagine where the center of the Earth is, thinking that there's a connection of energy between the sun and the Earth. So I connected with the center of the Earth mentally, and I noticed this was probably 1980, 1981, 82, when Mo Norman and I were hitting hundreds of thousands of golf balls over a few years, but every morning 250, 300 balls each we'd hit with long clubs, and then putting and chip shots, nobody counted them. But I remember telling Mo what I was doing. And I said, when I do this, I feel lighter on my feet and the colors look brighter and everything seems a little easier. And it is. Now, it took me a while to, I thought, is this an illusion or what? But it isn't. So I still do that. I did it the other day. I went out to the range here at the New Smyrna Beach Municipal Golf Course, and I did exactly what I just said. Mentally, I tuned with the center of the earth. I could feel it. I felt something change. I had the image of the shot that I wanted to see, and even though my vision's a little blurred, the image that I created balanced me for the shot that I had created mentally, the image of it. And I felt it in my feet, in my ankles. Mo always told me, you swing from the ground up. Well, you're standing on your feet, obviously, when you swing a golf club. What part of your feet? I finally decided that it was the line of balance up through my heels. And then I contracted the muscles in my ankles, locked the feeling in of the motion. I could see the motion of the whole shot. So what I did, and I did it a few days ago, is I put the ball in front of me that was on the tee at the destination point in the range that I picked out. And then I looked up in the air until I could sense where the ball would begin its descent. In other words, the apex of the flight. And then back along that line to where I was. And mentally, I inhaled the shot. And then once you do that, all I did was it came back as my eyes came back to where I was. I let my head turn slightly to the right until I felt I could turn away from the ball comfortably. But I had the whole energy of the shot in mind, and I just turned away from it and let it happen. And I haven't hit any tee shots for months, but I hit the first three of those things absolutely dead center in the head of the club. I can tell by the sound and the feel. The ball went exactly where I had it in mind. It could never go anywhere else. How you construct the image of the shot to be is really important because you can repeat it. It's a process that applies to every shot you hit, even if every shot's different.
Right. And it happens in a split second. Happens immediately.
Yeah.
It's a quick thing. Once you got it, you feel it, that's it. Bang.
If you can figure out how to make a putt for sure, what causes that? It's the same thing to be able to hit the ball in the hole from the fairway. So when we play our 9 holes every day, I was always trying to hit the ball into the hole in the second shot from the fairway. The 9th hole at Spruce Creek one day, I mentioned it in the book, Mind Golf, but I hit, there was a 7-iron shot in the 9th hole. I walked up to the ball, I looked at it, and I could feel the whole thing, and I hit it, and I knew it was perfect. And I said to Mo, I said, maybe that could go in, and it did. It landed in the cup. I saw it in my mind. I knew that I had hit the thing the way I wanted to, and it went in the hole.
Yeah.
Mo and I were thinking, how do you hole it from the fairway? You might as well try to do that. That gives you an exact target, the cup. That's where you want the ball to go anyhow.
That's it.
Well, I mean, at 100 square feet of green or something, you might as well aim at the hole.
Yeah, exactly.
So anybody in Neil Young Archives or anywhere else that listens to this and they play golf, all they have to do is what I said. When you're on the golf course, the ball's sitting in front of you. Look at where you want it to be next, exactly where, not the more or less the middle of the fairway or the middle of the green. Pick out an exact place on the green or the fairway. Look up in the air and you'll sense where the apex is, and then your line of sight, your eyes come back along to where you are. You'll feel and see the whole shot and then hit it. Don't stand there and think about it. The publicist, Brigitta, a friend who's a jewelry designer, he shoots in the low 90s. So I talked to him on the phone one day and he said, what do you think I should do? So I told him what I just said. He went at the net and he plays a couple of times a week and he shoots 92, 3, 4. He went out, he made 4 birdies and he shot 80. That's a huge difference. I mean, more by 10, 12, 14 shots. He was amazed. Then when I talked to him, he said, I haven't been able to do that since. And I said, well, are you trying to figure out why it worked? And he said, yeah. And I said, don't do that. Just do what you did.